Dolphin communication. Okay, let's dive into the fascinating world of dolphin communication. It's super complex and involves a whole mix of sounds and body language. How dolphins communicate. Dolphins communicate using a combination of 1. Vocalizations. This is what most people think of. They produce a wide variety of sounds for different purposes. Whistles. These are narrow-band, frequency-modulated sounds. They're often used for social communication, especially for identity. Clicks. These are broadband, pulsed sounds primarily used for echolocation. They're natural sonar to navigate and find prey. Burst pulses. These are rapid series of clicks that can sound like squeals, barks, or growls. They're often used in close-range social interactions, like during aggression or excitement. 2. Body language. Dolphins use their bodies to send signals, which is especially important in close-quarters interactions. Postures and movements. Things like head bobbing, jaw snapping, tail slapping, arching their back, or swimming in specific patterns can convey messages. Touch. Physical contact like rubbing, petting, or nudging can reinforce social bonds or convey warnings. Bubbles. Dolphins can create bubble rings or clouds, which can be used for play, to herd fish, or even potentially as a form of communication. Unique examples of dolphin communication. Here are some unique examples that highlight the sophistication of their communication. 1. Signature whistles, their names. This is probably the most famous and unique aspect. Each dolphin develops a distinct, individually specific whistle pattern, which acts like a personal name or identifier. They develop this whistle early in life, and it's stable over many years. How it's used. Dolphins use their signature whistles to announce their presence, call to specific individuals, or maintain contact, especially when separated from the group. Research has shown that dolphins can mimic the signature whistle of another dolphin to get that individual's attention, much like we'd call someone by their name. It's not just a call of identification, but an intentional address. 2. Referential calls, potentially words for objects, situations. While not fully proven to be a language like ours, some studies suggest dolphins might have calls that refer to specific objects or situations, not just emotions or identity. Example. Researchers have conducted experiments where dolphins were trained to associate specific artificial whistles with objects like a ball or a hoop, or actions. When the dolphin said the whistle for ball, another dolphin who couldn't see the trainer would go to the ball. This implies a level of abstract symbolic communication, where a sound stands for something else. This area is still actively researched, but it's super exciting. 3. Cooperative hunting calls. When dolphins hunt together, especially using complex strategies like mud net feeding, their communication is key to coordinating their actions. How it's used. While specific commands haven't been identified, the burst pulse sounds and synchronized movements they use during these hunts are thought to be critical for maintaining group cohesion, signaling changes in strategy, and alerting each other to the presence and movement of prey. It's a dynamic, real-time coordination that relies heavily on effective communication. 4. Information exchange via echolocation, seeing with sound. While primarily for navigation and hunting, echolocation might also play a role in information sharing. How it's used. Dolphins can direct their clicks at objects or prey and receive detailed acoustic information. Some scientists hypothesize that when one dolphin echolocates on something, other nearby dolphins might be able to eavesdrop on those clicks and the returning echoes, thereby sharing perceptual information about the environment or prey. It's like one dolphin projecting a sonic image that others can also see. 5. Calf-mother communication. Newborn calves and their mothers have a critical period where they establish a strong bond and communication. Calves quickly learn to recognize their mother's signature whistle, and mothers will often emit their whistle frequently to guide and reassure their young. Studies show that mothers might modify their whistle slightly, or use specific pulsed calls to communicate with their calves, teaching them foraging skills and danger avoidance. These examples really show how dolphins use a rich and varied communication system to manage their social lives, hunt effectively, and navigate their complex underwater world. Complexity and order in dolphin sounds. Here's a breakdown of what we know about word order and structure in dolphin communication. Signature whistles. Each dolphin develops a unique signature whistle that acts much like a name. They use these to identify themselves and call out to others in their pod. Dolphins can recognize these whistles even after many years. Structured communication. Recent studies using advanced analysis, including artificial intelligence, have found linguistic structures in dolphin vocalizations. For example, some research indicates that the frequency distribution of dolphin whistles follows Zipf's law, a pattern commonly found in human languages where a few words are used frequently and many others less often. Potential for syntax. There's ongoing debate and research into whether dolphin communication includes syntax, the arrangement of sounds in specific sequences to create meaning, similar to how grammar works in human language. Some studies even suggest dolphins can understand the difference in word order in commands given by researchers. Non-signature whistles and dialects. Beyond individual signature whistles, dolphins use other non-signature whistles that might function like words with shared, context-specific meanings. Different dolphin pods can even have distinct dialects in their vocalizations, much like human languages vary geographically. You got it. Zipf's law is a pretty fascinating empirical observation, with wide-ranging applications. What is Zipf's law? Zipf's law is an empirical law stating that in many naturally occurring distributions, if you rank items by their frequency of occurrence, the frequency of the nth ranked item is approximately inversely proportional to its rank. In simpler terms, if you have a collection of data, like words in a book, city populations, or website traffic, and you sort them from most frequent to least frequent, the most frequent item will occur approximately twice as often as the second most frequent item. It will occur approximately 3 times as often as the third most frequent item, and so on. So the relationship can be expressed mathematically as Pn knock 1Na, where Pn is the frequency of the nth ranked item, and A is a constant close to 1. When plotted on a log-log graph, logarithm of rank versus logarithm of frequency, Zipf's law appears as a straight line with a negative slope. Origin and applications. Linguistics original application. The law is named after American linguist George Kingsley Zipf, who popularized this phenomenon in the mid-20th century, particularly in his analysis of word frequencies in natural languages. For example, in English, words like the, of, and are overwhelmingly common, while many words are very rare. Understanding Zipf's law can help language learners prioritize high-frequency vocabulary, as a relatively small number of words account for a large percentage of everyday speech. Natural language processing, NLP. It's foundational for NLP algorithms, informing how they handle word frequency data, optimize search engines, and develop data compression techniques. Data analysis and prediction. Recognizing when data follows this distribution helps in choosing appropriate statistical models, setting realistic expectations, and identifying unusual patterns that might warrant further investigation. Limitations. While widely applicable, Zipf's law is an approximation rather than a perfect mathematical law. Real-world data can show deviations, especially in small datasets or at the extremes of the rank distribution. Variants like the Zipf-Mandelbrot law have been proposed to better fit some applications. Here are a few more points that highlight the complexity and evolving understanding of how dolphins communicate. Learning and cultural transmission. Dolphins aren't just born with their full communication repertoire. They learn a significant portion of it. This vocal learning is a key indicator of cognitive complexity. They pick up new whistles and calls from their social groups, and this learning can lead to distinct dialects between different pods or regions. This cultural transmission of communication patterns is rare in the animal kingdom and suggests a sophisticated social structure where communication plays a vital role in group cohesion and identity. Contextual cues and information content. Researchers are exploring how the context in which sounds are made influences their meaning. For example, the same whistle might convey different information depending on whether it's used during feeding, travel, or social interactions. Studies analyze the acoustic features of different vocalizations, like clicks, whistles, and burst pulse sounds, and correlate them with specific behaviors or environmental conditions to decipher their information content. The role of echolocation. While primarily used for navigation and hunting, echolocation clicks also contribute to dolphin communication. The precise timing and frequency of these clicks can convey information about the environment, the presence of prey, or even the emotional state of the sender. Some theories suggest dolphins might even see objects through sound, and this auditory picture could be shared or interpreted by others. Beyond simple words, sentences, and information theory. While we don't have direct evidence of words arranged into human-like sentences, Advanced statistical and information theory analyses are revealing compelling evidence of linguistic structure. This includes elements like chunks of sounds that are consistently grouped together, suggesting a form of phonological or morphological organization. These complex sequences carry more information than random noise, hinting at underlying rules governing their vocalizations. Challenges in decoding. One of the biggest hurdles in fully understanding dolphin communication is the vast difference in our sensory worlds. Dolphins primarily communicate through sound underwater, a medium very different from air. Their vocal range, speed of sound production, and auditory processing capabilities far exceed ours, making it difficult to even perceive, let alone interpret, the full spectrum of their communication. Here are a few more intriguing aspects. Emotional expression. Dolphins appear to use their vocalizations to express emotions. Studies suggest that certain types of whistles or burst-pulsed sounds might indicate excitement, distress, or even aggression. Recognizing these emotional cues is crucial for their social interactions and maintaining group harmony. When dolphins are playing or feeding, they tend to be more vocal, suggesting a link between vocalization and positive experiences. Coordinated hunting calls. When hunting in groups, dolphins often use coordinated vocalizations. These aren't just random sounds, they seem to be a form of strategic communication, helping them to corral fish, coordinate attacks, and share information about prey location. This suggests a sophisticated level of teamwork enabled by their acoustic signals. Mimicry and learning from other species. While their primary communication is with other dolphins, there's anecdotal evidence and some research suggesting that dolphins can imitate sounds from other species and even human speech. This incredible ability highlights their advanced vocal learning capacity and cognitive flexibility, though the purpose of such mimicry is still under investigation. Individual variation and accents. Just like humans from different regions might have different accents, dolphin whistles can show individual variations, almost like a vocal fingerprint. Beyond the signature whistle that identifies them, the subtle nuances in their calls can convey additional information about the individual's identity, age, or even their current physical state. The whoop whistle, one specific vocalization, often described as a whoop whistle, has been observed across different populations of bottlenose dolphins. Researchers are trying to understand if this specific whistle carries a universal meaning or if its usage is more context-dependent. Discovering such broadly shared vocalizations could point to a more foundational language element. Complex group dynamics and social signaling. Dolphins live in incredibly complex, fluid societies. Their communication reflects this. They use calls to establish hierarchies, maintain social bonds, signal aggression or submission, and even negotiate alliances. Imagine trying to keep track of a dynamic group where individuals might leave and rejoin, form new subgroups, or challenge existing leaders. Sophisticated vocalizations are key to managing all that social information. Acoustic fingerprints of individuals. Beyond the signature whistle, which is like a name, researchers are looking at even finer details in dolphin sounds that might act as acoustic fingerprints. These subtle differences in vocalizations could provide unique identifiers, allowing dolphins to recognize specific individuals even without hearing their signature whistle directly. This is like recognizing someone's voice instantly, even if they don't say their name. The human connection studies. Some of the most compelling and sometimes controversial research involves directly trying to communicate with dolphins. Projects have trained dolphins to respond to human-generated sounds and even attempt to mimic human speech patterns. While we're still far from two-way conversations, these studies push the boundaries of interspecies communication and force us to reconsider what language truly entails when it crosses species lines. Environmental impact on communication. Noise pollution from shipping, sonar, and offshore construction is a growing concern for marine life. Research shows that dolphins will alter their vocalizations, increasing their volume, changing their frequency, or repeating calls more often, to be heard over background noise. This adaptive behavior highlights the importance of clear communication for their survival and the challenges they face in increasingly noisy oceans. Potential for autobiographical memory. Some theories suggest that if dolphins have complex social structures and use unique individual identifiers like signature whistles, they might also possess a form of autobiographical memory. This means they could potentially communicate about past events or future intentions related to specific individuals, adding another layer of depth to their interactions. This is highly speculative, but it's an exciting area of thought. Multimodal communication integration. We've touched on how dolphins use both vocalizations and physical gestures. What's becoming clearer is how these aren't just separate channels, but are often integrated. Imagine a dolphin using a specific whistle while simultaneously performing a particular body posture or fin slap. The combined signals might carry a richer, more nuanced message than either signal alone. Understanding this synergy is a huge challenge for researchers. The conversation structure. Some studies are beginning to analyze dolphin vocal exchanges for patterns similar to turn-taking in human conversations. Do they wait for each other to finish? Do they respond directly to specific calls? While not as rigidly structured as human dialogue, detecting any such patterns would suggest a deeper level of interactive communication beyond simple signaling. Context-dependent whistle use. Beyond signature whistles, other types of whistles might not have a single fixed meaning. Instead, their interpretation could be heavily dependent on the social context, the presence of predators or prey, or even the emotional state of the group. This kind of flexibility is a hallmark of complex communication systems, where meaning is constructed rather than simply transmitted. Burst pulse sounds and their function. While whistles are well studied, burst pulse sounds, like squawks, barks, and squeals, are also a significant part of the dolphin repertoire. These sounds are often associated with high arousal situations, such as aggression, excitement, or foraging. Researchers are working to understand if these sounds carry specific information beyond just an emotional state, perhaps conveying warnings, status, or even direct commands during complex group activities. Biosonars as a form of shared perception. This is a really fascinating concept. Dolphins use echolocation, biosonar, to create incredibly detailed acoustic images of their environment. Some researchers theorize that they might be able to share these acoustic images with other dolphins. If true, this would be an extraordinary form of communication, allowing them to literally show each other what they see through sound. This could explain how they coordinate complex maneuvers in murky waters, or understand intricate details about their surroundings as a group. Prosodic features and emphasis. Just like how the intonation and rhythm of our speech can change the meaning of words or phrases, researchers are exploring if dolphins use similar prosodic features. Do they vary the pitch, duration, or amplitude of their whistles to add emphasis, ask a question, or convey urgency? Identifying these subtle acoustic modulations could unlock a layer of meaning beyond the basic whistle type. Recursive structure, the holy grail of language. One of the defining characteristics of human language is recursion, the ability to embed phrases within phrases, allowing for infinitely complex sentences. While there's no direct evidence of this in dolphin communication, it's a theoretical area of interest. If dolphins could embed meaning within existing calls, it would dramatically increase the complexity and information density of their communication, moving it closer to human language in terms of structure. Metacommunication. Do dolphins communicate about their communication? This is known as metacommunication. For example, do they have a signal that means listen closely, or I'm about to tell you something important, or I'm just playing around? Such signals would indicate a very high level of cognitive awareness of their own communication acts. Syntactic grammar hypothesis and the challenges. While earlier research suggested dolphins understood word order, the concept of a true syntactic grammar, with rules governing how different types of sounds combine to form meaningful sequences, is still hotly debated. The challenge is differentiating between complex behavioral sequences that are learned, like following a series of commands, and true generative grammar, where new meaningful sequences can be created following abstract rules. AI is currently being used to search for these underlying grammatical rules within massive datasets of dolphin sounds. The problem of meaning. What are they saying? Even if we identify complex structures, the ultimate challenge is assigning meaning in a way that is robust and verifiable. Is a specific whistle a command, a description, a warning, or something else entirely? Researchers use observational context, what dolphins are doing when they make a sound, and experimental setups, training dolphins to associate sounds with objects or actions, to try and bridge this gap, but it's incredibly difficult to step outside our human framework of understanding. Communication as an evolutionary driver. Looking at the bigger picture, the sheer complexity of dolphin communication suggests that it has been a massive evolutionary driver for their intelligence. The need to maintain complex social bonds, coordinate hunting strategies, avoid predators, and navigate a dynamic environment would place immense pressure on developing sophisticated ways to share information. Thank you for listening to Dolphin Tapes 003, Dolphin Communication. If you would like to learn more, go to www.speakdolphin.com or contact me at speakdolphin@mac.com. Let's keep learning together. Jack Kasowitz.